It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, May 30th. We have a full day of, chatter, reality TV chatter and gossip. We're almost on Friday, guys. We're almost to Friday. But the thing is that it's a short week. So it feels like it should only be Tuesday in my mind. And here we are at the end of the week, right? We have, or the end of the school year. Those of you that are parents, you know what these weeks are like. They're just filled from top to bottom with so many events, so many shows and open houses and parties and last minute, like fruit drives and God knows what. But, I also don't want to weaponize having kids like so many reality stars are being accused of on TV. I guess if you have kids and you talk about having kids in any capacity whatsoever, you're weaponizing having children. That being said, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things today. We're probably going to go a little bit off brand today, meaning, well, actually, no, it's not off brand for me. I'm just going to tell you guys my thoughts about all kinds of things today. Let's have fun. Let's get into it on today's Daily Dose of Donna. OMG. Ray is saying that she almost bought Old Bay goldfish today. Well, I almost did too until I saw Carl's teeth. If you guys don't remember what I'm talking about, this was Carl Radke. We have this summer house finale tonight. I don't know if any of you guys woke up this morning with like a pit in your stomach and excitement, like anticipation, almost maybe the way you'd feel before you go to Disneyland. Like, I'm ready for a fun, exciting day with a lot of ups, a lot of downs, just like a roller coaster of emotions. I feel way more excited for this than I've ever felt about Vanderpump Rules in the last season. I'll tell you that. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know what's doing it, what is actually creating this like feeling for me. But I've become a hater of Vanderpump Rules. And I don't think it's because of the actual show anymore. I think it's just the fandom behind it is just really taking me to a level of anger in a way that I can't even like explain. People really need to stop. Like I mean, you do whatever you guys want to do, but like I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I mean, I say this because I run a show literally 5 days a week where I cover reality shows. So I am the last person that should be talking about this. I honestly should be like, my self-awareness is through the roof right now. So I get it. I am obsessive. I want to talk about all these things. I get really deep, really into it. But it's reached a level of like, wait, what are we doing? What is happening right now? I'm not a big Sheena Shea fan. We've talked about this through the season at all. I do find that she struggles to kind of maintain her. A lot of people are like she doesn't have a spine, etc. You can feel whatever you want to feel on a show, I guess, but when it comes to the fact that she posted yesterday pictures of her like family luau, okay? I just want you guys to recognize some of these comments. Like, this is actually happening right now. And it's so wild to me because, like, let's all talk about these shows from beginning to end. Like, I want to talk about them all the time. What I don't think is makes a lot of sense is going straight to their posts about like their family time, they're hanging out with their daughters, spending time with whatever, and then writing stuff like this. I'll read it out loud for anyone that's not watching the YouTube. But here's the post. It's her and it's Sheena and Summer Moon in the first picture, but it's a collage of photos. And her caption says, "A time was had. Growing up, my family threw a big luau every year. My parents got engaged at one. People even got married at them. After my grandparents passed away, we stopped. But 22 years later, we finally brought it back." And look, I mean, it's like a cute little photo album. I mean, Brock looks really young in this photo. It's wild. I think they're probably hanging out at mom and dad's house. God knows what. It's family. Feel all you want about who she is in real life. But let's read some of these comments, okay? This one's kind of funny. It says, I'm blocking Summer Moon. That's funny. Sheena, here's another. Sheena, I'm appalled at how you treated Ariana. You always side with the victimizer. You owe Ariana an apology. Someone says she's deleting comments again with a clown face. Well, I get that, by the way. Would you want horrible comments? Have you seen the thousands of tweets and comments about you and Lauren of Utah today? Sheena, blink twice if you need to be rescued from Lala. Girl, you were petrified. Da, da, da. I've never heard a mouse scurry. Sorry, Team Ariana, all the way. The jealousy is just too much to overlook. It's no fun being Lauren's puppet, is it? Uh-oh, Sheena's posting Summer Moon right after an episode comes out again. She must need to hide behind something, etc., etc. Okay. I'm going to say something that shockingly is going to be controversial. A lot of my listeners don't have kids by choice, maybe not by choice. I don't know. So this is not a show for moms and dads, okay? Only. If you do not have kids, I am so okay with that decision. In fact, I applaud the decision. Having kids is no joke, such a challenge. I literally cried last night over one of my children. Okay, not in like a positive crying way. Like I was at my wit's end. What is this whole okay, let's put it this way. Lala did use the fact that she has children a lot in her fighting back on Vanderpump Rules, on the reunion, etc. I have to support my kid. I have to support my kid. And then she went on her podcast and immediately apologized for acting, but said that the fans talking badly about her being a parent is what really sent her to over the edge. People are not happy. Multiple people in this space are not when I say this space, I mean like the Bravo content creator space, are not happy with the fact that Sheena and Lala bring up having kids. When I didn't have kids yet, and my sister had kids, young kids, I couldn't stand her talking about them either in this way. I couldn't stand that she said, I can't go out to dinner on date A, B, C, D, E, F, G because I have a kid and I don't have a babysitter. I couldn't stand the fact that she was like, can you come to me? Because I can't come all the way over there with my baby. I couldn't stand the fact that she said, I can't join you on a girls' trip because I have my baby, or I need to do this because of the kids, or I can't talk right now because I have to go to their school. I thought it was lame. I thought it was annoying. I thought it was ridiculous. It bothered me. But you guys, it's reality. Like if anyone here has had a puppy, do you know how that changes your day to day? When you have a little puppy that's like potty training or whatever, and you have to crate train them or you have to put them in and you have to walk them a certain amount of time. And you have to make sure like you have to go to you cannot just like leave and live your life and not it changes your schedule. It changes your life. So when you have a kid, it's that times 10 a lot of times, right? Because you can't just put a kid in a crate for a few hours. You have to have someone physically around all the time, etc. That being said, I don't think that's weaponizing having kids. And when people say, oh, look, Sheena's posting a picture of Summer Moon, she must be hiding behind something, that bugs me. Because no, Sheena is a mother. And like once you become a mother, posting pictures of your kids, which I know that they do a lot. And don't get me started on that because I really wish that they didn't use Summer Moon so much in their content, to be honest. But I don't know if she's hiding behind anything. I think she's just posting her family, honestly. And it doesn't even matter because she could turn off comments if she really wanted to hide. Like people are attacking her for anything she'll like. If she posted a picture of her, she would get attacked. If she posted a picture of a tree, she would get attacked. It's just the way it is. And what I question, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so I want to hear different takes on this. This is so good. So Valerie says, I looked at the world totally different when I had kids. It was what was the most relevant in my life. Jen says, oh my God, Donna, that was me too for 40 years. And then I had my daughter. You don't fully understand you until you're in it. Yeah, I think a lot of people, and it's not to say that, like, I don't judge people that don't have kids by any means. Like I said, I'm so jealous of the freedom and the financial ability. Like, there's a person that I work out with at my gym, and he specifically did not want to have kids. He's my age. He is married, and he's like, we live the best life. We travel, we go places, we have so much more money. We don't have to be stuck at home. Like, I'm so jealous of that freedom in so many ways. So this is not a better than or whatever. But I think the fact that, like, when you talk, the fact that you're talking about your kids is immediately hiding behind something and weaponizing, that's where it gets a little tricky, you know? Brian says, hot take. It's not that they have kids, it's that they monetize the fact that they have kids. So I think you're talking about mostly Sheena because of Summer Moon. But I think a lot of the videos that I was seeing online over the last couple of weeks were just clips of Sheena being like, I have to go home. I have a kid. I have to put my kid to bed. I have a kid. I have a baby. I have a kid. Like, just bringing it up in conversations. You know how these people take clips from a whole season of a show or two whole seasons of a show. eh, like, I hate to tell you guys, this is just the way it is. Like, a girlfriend called me this morning and said, "Hey, well, you want to meet for sushi tonight at 6:45?" I said, "I can't." I didn't say I have a kid. I mean, she knows that I have a kid, but I can't because I have kids and I don't have a babysitter. And Lance is on set. So, like, what am I, it's just like it's gonna come up in your life. That's not weaponizing it. But I guess the monetizing it bothers people, and I understand that completely. But some people have their kids that they monetize, and some people have a shop or a business. And I don't know. I don't monetize my kids, but maybe I should. Um, okay. Let's see this. Let's see this. Let's keep going. Okay, lots of people. Michelle, who I always respect Michelle's take because, like, we're always on opposite sides of the fence, but I always appreciate her take. I have children. It's that Lala was justifying her behavior because she is a mom and has to provide for her children. See, that part is where you lose me, because if you're saying I had to be this person, which is a negative thing because I'm a mom, that's weird. Like, her time and needs are more important than someone who does not. So I think with Lala, I think Lala really sees herself when it comes to, raising Ocean as like mama bear, like, I gotta fight for her. And if not me, then who? And maybe that's a lot of people in those situations that are single moms and, struggle with that. But it does feel a little bit like, well, it doesn't feel a little bit. I think with Lala, it definitely does feel like she was making it so that, your careers are not as important as mine because I do have a kid, which I think is going to immediately piss off people that don't have kids, and maybe people that do have kids too. It's a fine line. It's like, you're allowed to talk about having kids, but I guess when you're saying I can be this way because I have a kid, then it gets annoying, right? Let me see. Andrew says he's a dink. Oh, no, he's not a dink. We know Andrew is not a dink, but there are dinks out there. Double income, no kids. Can we come up with, like, a better, hotter name than dinks? Double income, no kids. Living the life. How about that? Let's call them living the life. Um, Now, Valerie also brings up a good point. When you buy a second house, not knowing what the future of your main job is, it's scary and relevant. So I guess the difference is with Lala is she was breaking the fourth wall in so many different ways. Talking about the fact that this really is my career. And a lot of people are wondering, if Lala does not get asked back to Vanderpump Rules and that is over, what's next for her? Like, where does it go? You may hate her right now, but I don't think that it's going to, hopefully, I don't believe that these things, like, stick. I think she'll probably stick around for a while, although she would be great on, like, House of Villains then, or Traitors, or any of those shows. I think that she is, going to be okay. I feel like a personality like Lala's will be okay, but she broke that fourth wall so much, just even in the reunion, talking about, like, I why didn't you care about my job? Because I'm a mom, because I'm a mom. Or when she kind of took down Katie and saying, like, something about, her is not a business, but how dare you try to take my business down? I'm a mom. Of course, people are going to immediately be offended and, like, annoyed by that kind of positioning when it comes to being a parent. Okay, you guys, your comments are amazing. Like I said, I'm going to make sure that the live chat comments are always available if you rewatch this YouTube later on the replay, which most of you guys do. Make sure to read the live chat comments. They're always so interesting. Um, all right. Let's see. Patricia says, but some people do use their kids as an excuse to get out of things. Guilty party of one. 100%. I've used my kids to get out of my obligations in so many ways, like social obligations. Yes, it's true. I have. I have. Okay. Now, it's so funny when it comes to also just like the fandom of VPR because do you guys remember how attacked I got last week when I talked about the fact that I wasn't against Lala in the reunion season 2, reunion part 2. I wasn't. And I was waiting to see what happened with Lala. And so what's funny is like the comments were like, "Oh my gosh, Donna, how dare you see this? How I can't believe you could ever side with Lala. This is the worst thing. She's horrible." Just really, really going at me. And then this week, I just was honest and I was like, "Guys, I was Team Ariana on this third part of the finale. Like, I can't help it. Lala to me came off her approach. I get where she was coming from, but her approach was just awful in my opinion. And of course, so many of the comments are like, "Oh, so you're just blind. Anything Ariana does is fine. So what about Lala?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I could literally say that like I have a yellow pillow behind my back and someone's going to be like, 'That's not yellow, it's mustard.'" It's just constant. It's constant. But don't you worry. I will make sure to continue to share my opinion because it's boring if we're not. And I'm going to weaponize my kids every chance I get. Daily dose of Donna. This is your daily dose of getting triggered. Okay, let's keep going and chatting just about a few different things that have come up this week. Um, where do we start? Oh, I got an email this morning from Scott, who I work with for my podcast. And I thought it was kind of interesting. And it's all about new Netflix shows that are coming up. So I thought let's go through the new Netflix reality shows that are coming on up. Number one, I will say there is a new Ryan Serhant Netflix reality show. I think it starts really soon. And it's of course a like a reality real estate show. I'm very interested in this because I don't know where you guys live, but here in Los Angeles and California, real estate is unbelievable in terms of just the prices, the interest rates. Like it's pretty much impossible to buy a home right now unless you are so incredibly rich. And I don't see just like a middle class ability to buy homes at this point. Like it's really crazy unless you want to buy a major fixer up or a downgrade beyond. Like I got why Danny Bucco and his wife Nia were struggling with this conversation. For those of you that watch The Valley, I think it's really interesting. You may not know kind of like the locations of all these things, but they shoot The Valley near where I am, which is like Sherman Oaks, Studio City area. That is very, very local, I would say, to Hollywood or the city. It's just over the canyon or just like a little jaunt on the 101. Where Danny was wanting to look with Nia was all the way out in Santa Clarita, which is Valencia area. It's like 30 to 45 minutes without traffic. It's not an easy, jaunt. A lot of people do live out in Santa Clarita, Simi Valley. In fact, Garcelle on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills lives out in Simi Valley. So a lot of people live out there and commute in for events, for work, whatever, especially now that so many people can work remotely because you can get more bang for your buck, right? You get more space, you get the backyard, you get this. And when Nia was saying, no, I want to live in like mid city, West Hollywood, around that area, it's ridiculous, the prices. Like, the prices are crazy. So I can see why Danny was probably just thinking in his head, like, there is absolutely no way that I can ever afford to live out there. I mean, I'm sure they make decent money, but I can't imagine that unless the Valley continues and they do, 10 seasons. Danny is a working actor, and, that's so up and down. And Nia, I think she has a podcast and, she may do work with pageant stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty out there. Um, Now Nia and Danny's kids are also in the business. Talk about using your kids, monetizing your kids. Do you guys care about that or it doesn't bother you? When you have twins, baby twins, a lot of people locally here in Los Angeles like to put them in the industry. It's the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen of it. The reason why you do it is because, especially if they're, well, I think it's really only if they're identical, you can work double hours. And the hours for kids, and I don't know the SAG rules right now because I'm, how many years out of the business now? 8 years out of the casting business, 7 years. But when I was casting for kids, at a certain age, you get more hours and then you get more hours. But if you're under one, for example, you're getting basically for each kid like an hour to 2 hours on set. That's the most one little baby can work. And then when you get the second one, if you have a identical, now you can double those hours. And then like I said, as they get older, you can work more and you can work more. So if you have an identical twin, it's really, really easy to want to put them in the industry, especially when they're little babies, because they won't really know the difference. No big deal. Nia and Danny have been putting their kids in a bunch of different shows. We've seen them, they were on Shrinking with Harrison Ford the other day. They took a picture and they do a bunch. I mean, I know that Nia and Danny both have agents. They're working actors, so I'm sure they got them signed really easily. It's an interesting situation. And I always used to say with my kids, if I ever did anything with them, it would be when they were babies, like babies, because the second that they're starting to walk and talk and be kids and have memories and want to live like children, I don't think the industry is for them. That's just me. But good for Danny and Nia for starting a college fund early, right? Okay, that was a crazy segue with the real estate world, but I think it's actually kind of interesting. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because of Ryan Serhant, who has a new show coming out on Netflix about real estate. Here's uh, a few new reality shows for Netflix. And this was a press release. It says, today Netflix unveiled an exciting lineup of new and returning unscripted series, further cementing its status as the ultimate destination. Da, 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 da. Okay, here are some new shows, and I have no idea when they're going to be premiering, but this is what we have. We have a show called Selling the City, which is the newest addition to the Selling franchise, Selling Sunset, Selling the OC. Selling the City is a new series following a dynamic group of no-nonsense, kick-ass agents at Douglas Elliman as they navigate the cutthroat world of luxury real estate in New York City. Selling the City promises to deliver all the excitement, da, 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 da. This is the same producers as all the Selling shows. The only thing I could think about is the fact that Ramona Singer, I think, was an agent for Douglas Elliman and got fired when she had all that horrible press right before the girls' trip premiere. The next show is called Building the Band. This is up my alley. I don't know anything about it, but I'm already excited about it. It says Building the Band brings together 50 of the most talented singers for a truly unique competition show where building the perfect band is all about chemistry. The singers are in complete control as they seek to form their very own bands without ever seeing each other. All they have to go on is musical capability, compatibility, connection, chemistry, and merit. What will happen when the bands finally meet and looks, choreography, and style come into play? Incredible performances, compelling drama, and one big goal to find the next great music band. Now, it's a production company in the UK, so I don't know if it's a UK show, but does that not sound so good? It's like Love is Blind for bands. I thought it was so good. It's called Building the Band, not Making the Band. And then definitely P. Diddy is not involved. Okay. Battle Camp is the working title right now. This unites stars from across the Netflix reality universe. Battle Camp is a show that says the greatest stars from across Netflix's broad state of Oh my gosh, can I read? Broad slate of reality and docuseries return to face the ultimate physical and mental competition. This is giving Road Rules, Real World, The Challenge, all of that fun stuff, where a giant spinning wheel randomly decides who stays and who goes. In order to keep your name off that wheel, our returning fan favorites need to be unbeatable in high octane challenges, unbreakable in grueling punishments, and last but certainly not least, unhateable in camp, as everyone has a vote. The player who achieves all three becomes the ultimate Netflix reality competitor and takes home $250,000. Isn't that exciting? So, a lot of people are like, wait, who is on Netflix? And here's some Netflix reality shows that we've watched, all the selling shows, right? Buying Beverly Hills. Maybe we can get Mauricio on there, baby. We have All the Love is Blinds. We have Perfect Match, The Circle. Um, what other shows? Oh, Ultimatum. Okay, here's another show that's new. Million Dollar Secret is the working title. It says it puts a new take on a competition when $1 million is on the line. The $1 million prize is won by one of 12 players right at the start of the first episode. Now the others will hunt them down, eliminate the millionaire, and the money moves to someone new. When should they strike? Too soon and they become the target, too late and they may never get the money. Meanwhile, the millionaire can try to get rid of the cash if the heat becomes too much. This is a game of strategy and alliances where predators can become prey in the blink of an eye. I like that idea. Um, okay, and then another one, Owning Manhattan. So another Manhattan real estate show. That's what I'm saying. There's so many real estate shows. This one launches on June 28th of this year. It says Owning Manhattan gives a look inside of oh, this is the Ryan Serhant one. Okay, never mind. But it says it takes a look inside the glamorous, adrenaline-filled universe of high-stakes real estate in New York City. With Ryan Serhant will stop as nothing as he builds his brokerage and goes after the most exclusive luxury listings. Okay, we know that that's going to come out. 8 episodes starting June 28th. And then another one that's recently announced is Love is Blind UK. So that's going to start August 2024. Some returning shows, we have The Mole, Too Hot to Handle, and Perfect Match. Lance shot Perfect Match, remember that. The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, returns for a third season this December. The Ultimatum, Queer Love, is back for season 2. And some new games will join the roster. Netflix Stories Perfect Match, which is basically an all new game that casts players on the new season of the show. Wow, that's so interesting. So instead of taking people from former reality shows on Netflix and putting them on Perfect Match, they're going to cast for Perfect Match. There's going to be a Too Hot to Handle 3, Ultimatum Choices, and Netflix Stories Selling Sunset. Listen to this, you guys. It says, do you have what it takes to join the Oppenheim group? In this game, players are the newest agent at LA's glitziest luxury brokerage and must sell their way to the top to win a $100 million Bel Air listing. But to prove themselves as a top realtor, they'll have to navigate affluent clients, office drama, and another new agent who wants to take them down. These are all really interesting. Okay, so basically they're going like behind the scenes on reality shows to cast on the reality shows. These Oppenheim brothers are they are killing it with the Selling Sunset, selling the OC, and they just opened they opened a San Diego office, and now they have another show. It's crazy. Brian says all of these shows sound like hot garbage. And what you mean by hot garbage, it means we'll watch them all. Let's be real. Did any of us expect Love is Blind to be what we ended up seeing? It was so good. So good. All right, let's move on to another story. Sonja's townhome has officially sold. Yes, Sonja's townhome that we have all been so accustomed to seeing on all of the years of the show, Real Housewives. And, I'm sad about it because it's the end of an era, but I'm happy about it because it was giving gray gardens. It was making me feel dirty. Like, she needed to get rid of this thing. Sonja needs no longer to be couch surfing. She's finally bidding farewell to her luxe New York City townhouse, and it was sold to the highest bidder because it went to auction for half of its purchase price, which is just devastating because she bought it in 1998 for $9 million. And let me just say something. $9 million in 1998 has got to be an insane amount of money if it really actually continued to grow like real estate does. This is really interesting because $9 million in 1998, a townhome in New York City that was also featured on Real Housewives. It's on the Upper East Side. I mean, I don't know a lot about the location, to be honest. I don't live in New York. I don't know the city that well, but it's so crazy to think that 26 years later, it sold for half the price. It sold for $4.5 million. I don't know the details. I'm assuming, let's see, it sits on 162 East 63rd Street. It struggled to find a buyer and was on and off the market for years. It was listed. She first listed for 9 something, and then in 2015 it went down to 7. And then she listed it, or she put it up for rent at 32,000 a month. Then she relisted it. She renovated it last summer and relisted it for 8.75, then dropped it to 7.5, and now 4.5. It says it has 5 bedrooms, 5 full baths. It says she renovated it, but, like, how did she renovate it is the question. Like, I feel like knowing Sonja, she probably just, like, put a little scotch tape on things. Ay, ay, ay. So it went for auction, and it finally closed Wednesday at 4 p.m., and it really isn't that much money. Meanwhile, Bethany celebrates her new chapter at a $5 million Hamptons home. So while Sonja is like struggling to recoup any of that cash, Bethany is just buying up real estate. I'm surprised we didn't see a Netflix show on the radar called Buying Bethany, or like Bethany's uh, someone help me come up with a word. Bitching with Bethany. Should that be a show? Bitching with Bethany, or Bethany's blow ups. Um Maddie says that it borders Lexington. This is Sonja's townhouse. A train vibrates that blocks. Oh, that block. A train vibrates that block, and the front door is next to a garbage driveway. That's a lot. Okay, let's see. Jen says Bethany's big mouth. I don't mind that. BBM. Buying Bethany, sponsored by TJ Maxx. These are good, you guys. Keep thinking. Keep thinking. Okay, another story. Kim Zolciak called the cops on Kroy. And no one in the world, including the cops or Kroy, were surprised. The cops probably have Kim Zolciak on speed dial. Like, they're like, oh, Kimmy's calling again. Michelle came up with a good one for Bethany, you guys. We are currently watching Bethany's Breakdown, sponsored by Instagram and TikTok and Chanel. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Yeah, Kim Zolciak calls the cops on Kroy, claims he stole her phone. She broke down in an emotional 911 call, alleging her husband, still her husband, Kroy, stole her phone and locked himself in the primary bedroom again. He's going through my entire phone, she told dispatchers. He's locked himself in the room going through all of my stuff. What do you think's on Kim's phone? Screenshots, right? Like, of what? Screenshots of probably like the Kardashians being like, gotta try this. Screenshots of like all of Kris Jenner's moves. It's so crazy. It's just wild. Like, they need to be cut off completely. She says he's been screaming and yelling all night. He's out of his mind. I feel so violated. I have divorce stuff in there. I have so many things in there. Why is her phone unprotected? Like, she probably should change her code, I'm assuming. I'm assuming he has her code. It's not good, you guys. It's not good. In another set of news, Jax Taylor. Jax Taylor is denying he's dating anyone. Jax Taylor is in his emo girl era. And by that, I mean he's posting all kinds of stories on his Instagram that are they're just sad. They're just sad. He's going through a lot, you guys. He's thinking. He's he's lonely, he's questioning his life. I'm going to tell you what I think, but let's go through the stories together so we can all see them at once. The first story is very cute. It's of him and his little baby, again monetizing his kid by having an Instagram account and tagging it. Can't handle that. A picture loving these boys. Happy birthday, Jeremy. This was Ariana's brother. Then a little video on TikTok basically about the fact that he's an Oilers fan. Who cares? This is an interesting one. He posted an Instagram account that says, "Ladies, if you see your man biting his nails, shaking his legs, not talking, zoning out, cracking his knuckles, looking everywhere, just give him a hug. He won't ask for it, but deep down he needs it." And to that, I say, or he's on a severe amount of Adderall. Like, don't you get the vibe when you see someone biting their nails intensely, shaking their legs, zoning out, cracking his knuckles, looking everywhere? Like either either he is anxious that someone is about to rob him. This feels intense. He's either on pasta, Adderall, or he's watching the Super Bowl and it's the final quarter. Like it's just such a strange post. Then he posts this. "Remember this. There is nothing in this world that can hurt you as much as your thoughts. And there is nothing in this world that can heal you as much as your thoughts." So his hurtful thoughts of the day are, "Man, wish Brittany would just stop drinking. She's just not like the other girls, man. Just wish she would stop drinking." And what is healing him is uh Valley's coming back for season 2. Those are her thoughts. That's all he can think of. Then the final thing he posts, "I am not dating anyone, and I wish you all knew the full story of this situation. It's not what you think," with a sad face emoji. All right. I want to know what we think the situation, like what the actual situation is, if it's not what we think. Because what we have seen, and stop gaslighting us, Jaxie. What we have seen is you've been with a chick multiple times throughout the course of a weekend at different meals, putting your arm around her, flirting with her, et cetera, et cetera. So what we think is that, yeah, maybe you're not dating someone, but I'm assuming you're hooking up. My guess is maybe Paige like broke up with him on Monday or Tuesday, this girl that he was with, and that's why he's like, "I'm not dating anyone." I don't think she's his sponsor. I don't think that they're just like close friends. I don't get it. I don't get it, right? I think at the end of the day, Jax is 100% banging other chicks in multiple bathrooms throughout the cities. In fact, like if I were in a public establishment here in Los Angeles, I'm going to go into the bathroom first and be like, "Jax, Jax," before I pee. For sure, Jeff Lewis has cross streams with Jax Taylor somewhere in some bathroom. You know how Jeff Lewis always talks about bathroom activity. I don't know. I think that he's not dating anyone. I think he's screwing around though, and so it's like it's semantics. I'm not dating. Interesting. Oh, this is interesting. It seems like Brittany may be ready to claim emotional abuse, which was also caught on camera in the divorce, and now he's laying the groundwork for struggling mental health. Listen, we've all seen it. We've all been a part of it. We've watched it on camera, the way he talks to her, what he says to her. I'm sure she has multiple different experiences on text, etc. Where he's said things or whatever. But at the end of the day, Emotional abuse is one thing, but I hate to say it, and I don't wanna say it like this, but, she knew who she was marrying. We have seen this from day one. So it's very, very hard. Sarah thinks maybe he's a later in life lesbian. Next, it's gonna be Morgan Wade. This is why I love doing my lives with you guys. Your comments crack me up. The comments crack me up so good. Okay, so then we're going to talk about the fact that, I think Jax is setting himself up. I would like to see Jax and Brittany back together for a few reasons, but I don't think that they're a good couple, is my honest opinion. I think that the two of them are awful for each other and very toxic for each other. So Jax probably should be with someone else, and Brittany deserves someone else too. And especially for that little boy. That little boy who Brittany really got very upset about because people really went in, I guess, on comments and social media about her being a mother, and or maybe not about her being a mother, but about the well-being of the child going through this. And I agree, like, leave her son's name out of your mouth. We shouldn't be talking about his well-being or whatever, but at the end of the day, we all can agree that a happier household is one where you're not sitting amongst your fighting parents. I personally do not think that I would have been any better off had my parents stayed together and like had a really tortured, horrible relationship, which is why in Michelle and Jesse's case on the Valley, I think they've actually done a really bang up job by getting divorced. And it seems like they are, I don't know if they're officially divorced, but it seems to me like they are, really loving on each other as co-parents, which to me is a wonderful sign. I love a good co-parenting sitch. And some people are really able to pull it out. Like, look at Dolores and Frank. Love them. Love them. I love a good co-parenting. Um, okay. The final thing I want to talk about before we wrap today is Dancing with the Devil. I need you guys to stop what you're doing after you watch this and watch this documentary because we're going to deep dive this. I'm not going to deep dive it today because I want you guys to watch it. Dancing with the Devil is a new documentary just premiered yesterday on Netflix. It's already number 1 in so many different ways. And it's basically, this is what it's described as. It's the insane true story of the 7M TikTok cult. Now, if you don't know what that is, there has been over the last few years a lot of talk about this. And if you're a conspiracy theory cult watcher or anything like this, you are probably very much ingrained in these stories. Cults are so fascinating to me. I mean, obviously, I talked about Scientology. We've talked about Love, Mother Love. What was her name? Mother God. Love Has Won, that documentary, or the Twin Flames documentary. Any of those documentaries are just so fascinating to me, and they always have been. This one is around a cult called they call it the 7M TikTok cult. But essentially, it's about the story is told in an interesting way. But the first episode really starts talking about these TikTok dancers, these amazing dancers that were on So You Think You Can Dance and really have gone on the audition circuit here around Los Angeles. They start dancing and going on social media and just gaining thousands and thousands, and in some cases, millions of followers. And so, this one family that they really focus on, the name of the girl is Miranda Wilking. Now she is, Miranda, gosh, someone help me because she got married and she goes by something else on Instagram. I just searched her yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. She is now Miranda Derrick on Instagram. I'm gonna show you guys her account. I guess I should probably follow her now because now I'm in. So Miranda and her sister Melanie were young dancers growing up like in their small town wherever they lived with their mom and dad who were so supportive and so loving. This is her and her mom here, okay? May 12th. Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful mother. I love you, Kelly Wilking. Well, while you see this, you're like, this is the cutest thing ever. Oh, they just seem so happy, so loving, so great. Well, what you start to realize is actually this girl and her sister started being dancers in the Los Angeles circuit. They lived together. They started a YouTube um you know, channel together. The Wilking sisters, they started amassing all these viewers, all these followers, and they started doing these collabs. She starts dating this Miranda girl, starts dating this one guy who's also a dancer. Is his name B Dash or Dash, something along those lines? They start doing all these videos, and one of the guys who is the videographer for these TikTok and social media videos ends up trying to kind of bring them in to his dad's church. This kid's name is Isaiah, and the dad's name is Robert Shin. And Robert Shin is an LA pastor at this church called the Shekinah Church. Shekinah is Shekinah. Okay. Shekinah Church. And it's here in Los Angeles. I don't know a lot about it yet. I'm going to deep dive it because I've only watched 2 episodes of the 3, and then I'm going deep. But Robert Shin started this Shekinah Church as a religious community for Korean Americans, which they go into in the 2nd episode of these Korean Americans who basically maybe had lost their parents or felt alone, immigrants, whatever, who were kind of just struggling in life, as a lot of these cults take advantage of a lot of these people, Scientology, and brought in a lot of these young Korean Americans years ago. And it has been basically, um, you know, come to light. It's been exposed that it was cult like. There was a lot of abuse going on, physical, sexual, mental, all the things, and financial, just really, really crazy stuff. And meanwhile, the son of this Robert Shin, Isaiah Shin, started filming all of these musical dancer content. He started 7M Films in 2021. And from there, he signed a bunch of these dancers. So he signed this girl, Miranda. He signed her husband. Eventually, she ended up getting married. They started going on to the Shekinah church with Isaiah, with the guy who was filming them. He then became their manager. All of a sudden, they're hugely invested in this church, all of these incredible young dancers. And slowly, slowly, as these cults do, is they alienate you from your families, right? They alienate you from anyone that is not involved in the cult or the church or whatever, and doesn't really support. And so slowly, slowly, Miranda and her sister, who were so close, stop talking completely, and she pulls away from the parents. So the parents are interviewed with the sister heavily throughout this first episode. And a lot of what you're seeing on social media, all the videos and pictures that Meredith is posting with her family, are because it's all for show, right? Everything's fine. I'm not in a cult. I am safe. It is wild. It is interesting. It is really, really an incredibly well done documentary so far. And we've seen this story over and over and over and over. And it's like, it never ceases to amaze me how people still get involved in these. And now the question is, even though so many people have escaped the cult, will Miranda ever? So make sure to watch this documentary. It's on Netflix. I'm going to be finishing it today. I'll talk definitely more about it later. And uh, and then tonight is Summer House, and I am dying. I'm so excited. And I hear it's incredible. I hear the last 20 minutes are just mind blowing. So let's get into it, you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for supporting the show and being here. I will talk to you tomorrow on Daily Dose of Donna for our final show. You'll get a Patreon episode of a Bethany Ever After recap later today. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.